Scott, you now have a quorum if you wanted to start the meeting.
Okay. I'd like to welcome you to the March 15th Planning Commission meeting for Hubbard, Oregon. My name is Scott Sterling. I'm your chair tonight. And do you want to do the flag salute or what?
Yes.
Yes, it's on your agenda.
Okay. If you'll join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag
of
of the United States of America and
and
to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation,
nation
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
justice
for all.
for all. Amen.
Okay. Excuse absence, staff present. I'm just trying to look at the agenda right now. So has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the February 15th meeting? If so,
I have.
could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
This is Glenn Holm. I will move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Do we have a second?
This is Phil Cartel. I second it.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. And then we're here to do a continued public hearing. So again, good evening. My name is Scott Sterling. I'm the chair of the Hubbard Planning Commission. I will be presiding over this hearing. This is the time and place set for the public hearing and the matter of continued public hearing for site development review file DR 2021-3, development of a 6,200 square feet warehouse addition plus a 16,200 square foot parking lot on a developed site for Western Drywall. The
Yes,
continued meeting, the continued hearing is now open and it is 6:35 p.m. Oregon land use laws require several items to be read into the record at the beginning of each public hearing. The city planner will review this material. Your patience is appreciated as she goes through these statements. Thank you, Holly.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. The applicable substantive criteria upon which this case will be decided are found in the Hubbard Development Code, Section 2.108, IC Industrial Commercial Zone, Section 2.200, General Development Standards, and Section 3.105, Site Development Review. All testimony and evidence received during this public hearing must be directed toward these approval criteria or to such other rule, law, regulation, or policy which you believe to apply to this case. An issue which may be the basis for an appeal to the City Council or the Land Use Board of Appeals shall be raised not later than the close of the record at or following the final evidentiary hearing on this case. Such issues shall be raised with and accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford this body and the parties to this hearing an adequate opportunity to respond to each issue. This public hearing will proceed with the staff report and any other comments from governmental agencies that are in attendance, followed by the applicant and all of those who are in support of the application. All those opposed to the application will then be allowed to speak, followed by those with general comments who are neither for nor against the application. Finally, the applicant will be entitled to a rebuttal period. Please state your name, physical address, and mailing address clearly for the record before your comments. Please try to avoid repetition if someone else has already expressed the same thoughts. It's perfectly all right to state that you agree with the statements of that previous speaker. Please be assured that everyone will have an opportunity to speak. If you have documents, maps, or letters that you wish to have considered by this body, they must be formally placed in the record of this proceeding. To do that, either before or after you speak, please submit the material to Vicki Noggle, who will make sure your evidence is properly taken care of. Prior to the conclusion of the first hearing on a land use application, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional evidence or testimony regarding the application. If such a request is made, it will be up to this body to determine if the hearing will be continued to a time and date certain, or if the record will be kept open for the submission of additional evidence.
Thank you, Holly. At,
Mhm.
at this time, with that out of the way, I need to ask the audience and fellow commissioners a few questions. Does any member of the audience have any objections to the notice that was published? Does any member of the audience wish to challenge the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission in this matter? Does any member of the Planning Commission wish to declare a potential or actual conflict of interest or bias? Does any member of the Planning Commission wish to report any site visit or ex parte contact? Does any member of the audience wish to challenge the impartiality or ex parte disclosures of any member of the Planning Commission? City Planner Holly Byram, please give your staff report.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, my name is Holly Byram, and I work for the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments. I work on contract as the city planner for Hubbard. Tonight's public hearing is a continuation of a public hearing that was initiated by the Planning Commission on January 18th. This is Site Development Review File Number DR 2021-03. This is for the business Westside Drywall at address 2755 Pacific Highway 99E. And as the chair read, the original application was for a 6,200 square foot warehouse plus a 16,200 square foot parking lot. And these are additions to an existing developed site where they already have 2 office buildings, 2 warehouses, a fueling station, So the site is pretty well built out. On January 18th, the Planning Commission heard the full staff report, which included findings to the criteria as well as recommended conditions of approval. There was discussion that evening about the city's requirement to pave parking lots. There was discussion about the large parking lot that the drywall business uses to park its rigs and then also for staff parking. On that evening, the applicant requested a little more time so that they could look at their options for that parking lot to see if there would be any other potential sites. Several weeks after the public hearing, the applicant did provide additional information, 2 different pieces, and those are attached to the staff memo to the Planning Commission this evening. The first piece that the applicant provided was a revised site plan that showed that the gravel parking area would be paved, and it showed the directional arrows there on the site plan. And the second piece of information from the applicant was they had found the stormwater calculations from 2001, and the project architect had redlined those to demonstrate that the stormwater detention facility that is on site already constructed does have sufficient capacity to accommodate the parking lot once it is paved. So with those 2 pieces of information, staff has concluded that the applicant has demonstrated that they have the ability to pave the parking lot without any additional stormwater treatment, and that they are willing to do so. Consequently, staff does not have any additional recommended. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you, Holly.
Staff, any additional recommended findings or conditions of approval? The original findings and conditions of approval should continue to apply. If any of those are already met, then great. Those conditions of approval are checked before each deadline, and those deadlines are either prior to building permit or prior to final occupancy. So staff's recommendation is that the Planning Commission take any additional testimony from interested parties tonight, and that they make a motion to approve the site development review file, adopt the original recommended findings and conditions of approval contained in the staff report dated January 12th. That was the original staff report. So I wasn't planning to go into any additional detail about those findings, assuming that the Planning Commission still remembers those. I'm happy to answer questions. And I know that the business representative is here tonight too to answer questions. So that's all the comments that I had prepared to make.
Thank you, Holly.
Mhm.
I will now accept public testimony regarding this case. Would the applicant or representative like to speak?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is Manny Rodriguez. My address is 15700 Southwest Division in Beaverton. 97007. And yeah, we decided to pave that lot. And do there was a couple, 2 or 3 other requests that we agreed to. A little walkway from the sidewalk, from the public sidewalk along the highway there to our sidewalk. So we've decided to do everything that was recommended and asked for. So we're good.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in support of the applicant? Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the application? Is there anyone that would like to speak neither for nor against the application or neutral? Would the planning commission would the planning commission like the applicant to address any of the testimony? Before I close the continued public hearing, are there any additional questions from the planning commission or staff or anyone? As a reminder, once I close the hearing, only commissioners or staff may speak. Okay, not hearing any. Public testimony is now over. I will close the public hearing at 6:47 p.m. I will now entertain discussion on the application and or a motion.
I move to approve. This is Phil Cartel.
Do we have a second?
Second that. This is Glenn.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. Now I'd like to have all those that are in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. So. Just have to get
Was
back.
there any opposed?
Oh, any opposed? Sorry. Don't hear any, so. Discussion regarding planning commission meetings.
So before we get into that, was there anything else, Holly, or that you needed, or?
No?
No, I just wanted to ensure that the applicant knows that I will send them a notice of decision that contains all of those conditions of approval, so they have those in writing. And then there will be a 12-day appeal period that follows that notice of decision. So we can get to work after that, and then staff will have those check-in points prior to building permit and prior to certificate of occupancy as well.
Great. So I put the discussion regarding the planning commission meetings on there because the question came up if the planning commission wants to continue to do these Zoom meetings or go back to the meeting in person meetings. I do have to, by state requirement, allow the Zoom meeting. I have to do both, but I can go ahead and set up the meetings if the planning commission wants to meet in person.
I'd be okay with a in-person meeting.
I would have a question for staff. I'm okay meeting in person too. I think I was the one that generated the question. Does the city have the technology to allow Holly to still attend virtually? Just for convenience sake?
So I'm required by law now to continue the Zoom meeting, so she would still be able to Zoom in. I like the Zoom meetings because when she's talking about the staff report or maps or whatever, she can pop them up onto the screen. But it's really however you guys want to do it, because I can set these meetings up to go ahead and meet in person and Zoom, or we can continue to do the Zoom meetings.
I like the Zoom meetings myself. So I vote to keep it the way it is for now, at least.
I agree. It's very convenient to be at home to do these meetings, and especially with my schedule. And now that I don't live in the city of Hubbard anymore, I would prefer the Zoom.
It's beneficial also, like Vicky said, we see right on our TV what the plans are and what this, I haven't been through any of the site plans or anything. That's the new stuff that's coming up. But I can see the value in it. So I don't know, at this point, I'm okay with Zoom, but again, I'm good in person because I like people. I like looking at people, staring people down like Scott. I'm playing. So it's up to you, Vicky.
Well, I don't think Glenn said one way or the other.
I didn't. I'm honestly, I'm good with the I mean, if we've got two members who are fine with staying in Zoom, I'm okay with that too. I can certainly go there. So I've been doing it a long time on the school board, so it's not a problem to do it this way for this body. So.
Okay, well then when I set up the next meeting, I'll just continue to do Zoom unless the planning commission changes their mind in the future.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Then your next line item, Scott, is adjournment.
Is adjourning? Yes. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. This is Glenn.
Do we have a
This is
second?
Phil. This is Phil second.
All right. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Okay. Sounds unanimous. So all opposed? No. Okay.
Thanks. See
Thank
ya.
you.
Thank you.
Good
Have a good night.
Thank you.